Good evening, everyone. This is James at Lock and the Value talking to you this evening about the wonderful world of crypto. So, Bitcoin slightly up, but fairly stable. Ethereum, again, pretty stable, up and down, a percent here and there. Obviously, the enormous news is everything coming out of XRP, which I am going to break down and give my perspective on this. But that is a perspective. Let's be clear, it's a speculative perspective. And I'm going to go into that in a second. And it will be a bit of a history lesson for any of you that are interested. Currently, crypto fear and greed index is hugely in the position of greed, extreme greed we're at right now. And that's even while things are down. Generally we're hovering around down on a number of projects. Theta, hugely happy to see Theta smashing it. Been bullish on Theta for a long time. So very excited about that. But let's get into Ripple, guys. Let's get into Ripple. So Brad Garlinghouse announced the SEC voted to attack crypto. Chairman Jay Clayton in his final act is picking winners and trying to limit the US innovation in the crypto industry. This came out of nowhere, right? He also went on this major rant with regards to Bitcoin and Ethereum being Chinese owned, which was unusual. So we know crypto and blockchain technologies aren't going anywhere. Ripple has and will continue to use XRP because it's the best digital asset for payment speed, cost scalability, and energy efficiency. The SEC, out of step with other G20 countries and the rest of the US government, should not be able to cherry pick what innovation looks like, especially when their decision directly benefits China. Make no mistake, we are ready to fight and win. This battle is just beginning. Here's my perspective. This came out of nowhere. So before I give you full-on perspective, let's look back. Little history lesson. Battle of Waterloo. Okay. The Rothschilds. Now, everyone's fairly familiar with the Rothschilds. Huge banking company. They're in generations after generation after generation after generation have been bankers. At the Battle of Waterloo, now, at the time, Nathan Rothschild realized that the most important thing was speed of communication. Obviously, the internet was not around in the Battle of Waterloo. So he had couriers, he had people that were doing his research and his communications for him. And he had people at the Battle of Waterloo. He realized the French were losing. In fact, the courier realized the French had lost. Immediately rode back to Nathan Rothschild to inform him. Now, what Nathan Rothschild did, counterintuitive but very clever. I mean, so there are government-backed bonds, right? There are English and there are French. Now, most people would go, well, I own all these government-backed bonds, and he owned a ton of English ones. So most people will go, well, I'm going to hold on to them, make a profit. Rothschild is obviously very, very well known within the financial circles. He sold all of his bonds. And that caused an enormous amount of fear within the market, and everyone thought that Britain had lost the war. So everyone was selling off. And then they were buying up the French bonds. Now, he had that information about 2 days prior to other people having that information. So everyone sold all theirs off. The value of them plummeted, and he bought them back, pennies on the pound. And then the information that Britain had won, that they beat the French, came out, and the value of them skyrocketed again. But he comfortably doubled his money, but that's on what we actually know. Like, beyond that, he probably made far more than that. But what he did was instigate fear to reduce the price, to buy in at a cheaper price, and end up making a profit. That massively rings true to me of what Brad Garlinghouse is doing right now, because there was no reason for the huge rant and the reaction that he provided, and it was him doing that. He knew the price was going to go down, right? I personally not a huge fan of Ripple. I am in Ripple, and I have said I think Ripple will be successful in terms of an investment, because I think it's too big to fail. That was always my phrasing. I don't like it in terms of the vision of cryptocurrency. It's certainly not Satoshi Nakamoto's vision. And it's certainly not any of our visions, because it's a centralized entity. It's not what we wanted. But what I believe he's done is instigate a huge amount of fear within the market, which has caused the Ripple price to dump. I think it will continue to dump for a while. It's down 33.2% in 24 hours. That's a huge dump when you consider nothing else is down. Pretty much nothing else is down double digits, bar Stellar. And Stellar had a huge run up a while ago. And it's also sort of intrinsically tied. Like there's a link there. It's not the same, but there's a link to XRP. So that's probably why that's happened. Right, but waves, there's not, OMG network, Elrond's had a bit of a hit, but Elrond had a skyrocket, didn't it? So there's very few that have had serious falls. And it rings as market manipulation, which will continue until the price is at a point where people want to buy back in. But I would guarantee that people started selling off. And if you look at the XRP transactions, the biggest holders of XRP, when that news came out about SEC, bought more. Everyone else, so people like myself, retail investors, now I didn't sell, but a ton of retail investors sold their funds. But the biggest holders, when that price plummeted, when that SEC information was released by Garlinghouse, they bought more. It rings as market manipulation. I think we could see the price drop to 20, potentially. Then I think it will start having a run back up. I don't think this man is stupid enough to release this information oblivious to the realities of what's going to happen in the market. I also believe if he's prepared to release this information, he and his team are confident of beating any lawsuit made against them. Because if they weren't, they would hold their hand and they would keep their mouth shut and slowly sell off positions. But what that rings it as is, we're going to win this case. So let's create some fear. Let's get people to sell off. Let's buy back in some more at a better price. That's just my thoughts, though. And that is legitimately just my speculation based on history and what I believe. This company could go tits up. It could go. I just don't think this guy can be that stupid. I think he's got to be thinking a few moves ahead. And I think that's what happened here. But yeah, anyone, what are your thoughts? Please write them in the comments. I'm really interested to hear what people have to say about this, because I can totally see a number of sides of the argument here, but that is the only thing that makes sense to me. It's the only thing that makes sense to me, really, logically. So comment and let me know what you think. Anyway, that's it from me. Take care, stay safe, happy Christmas. I'll be back in a few days probably 27th or 28th to do another video. But a few days off for the family and for Christmas. Okay. Hope you all have a good one. Bye.